I now have the pleasure of asking Lester Crown to come to the podium. All of us here tonight know what generous supporters and outstanding advisors the Crown and Goodman families have been to Ida Crown Jewish Academy. This scholarship dinner is named in honor of Dr. Edward A. Crown, and we are so pleased that Lester Crown, a leader in the Jewish community, locally, nationally, and internationally, is here to share his greetings. Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to be here tonight to pay tribute to Doug Klein and Davey and John Rosenstein, and to our good friends Zena and Jeffrey Cohn. Like Steve, I've known Jeffrey and had the pleasure of working with him for many, many years, and every word that Steve told you earlier tonight is absolutely true. He is a superb professional. He's done a magnificent job on behalf of the Jewish Federation and the Jewish community in Chicago, and frankly, I don't think I know anybody who is more dedicated, more persistent, and more effective in the work that he does. Jeffrey, thank you very much. When Rabbi Matanki asked me to say a few words tonight, I did ask him what I should talk about. And he answered me absolutely immediately. He said, about 5 minutes. This evening, I think, as you would expect, is really very meaningful to our family, in that the school is named for my grandmother, and the dinner is named for my uncle. And so I thought I would take maybe 2.5 of those minutes and tell you just a little bit about him, because I doubt if there is hardly anyone in the room that knew my grandmother, and a couple perhaps knew Ed. They were absolutely marvelous people. My grandmother came here from a little shtetl just south of Minsk about late 1880s. They went to Albany, was married there, and came to Chicago. They really were, they kept a roof over the heads of their family, but that was really about all that they had. They literally, they had to go to work in the morning in order to make money for breakfast. But she had she was the core of the family for many, many years. She was really the nucleus. I'll never forget when my wife Renee went down to see Grandma and to tell her that our second son had been born. Grandma asked Renee, what did you name him? She said, we named him Jim. Grandma thought for a minute. She said, you know, the only Jim I know is the butcher about 4 blocks away, and he isn't really a very nice man. And then she thought and gave a typical answer. She said, after all, the child makes the name doesn't make the child. And that really was the essence of Grandma the entire time that we knew her. She was wonderful. She had 7 children, 2 which died of tuberculosis, 1 in the teens, 1 in the 20s, and 1 son who died about the age of 16 of an infected tooth because they didn't have the money to go to a good dentist and had to go to a student dentist. So there were 4 boys left. Ed was the youngest of the 4. He is the only one that went beyond high school. Corky's father-in-law was really the educated one. He went to high school. My dad never went beyond 8th grade. Ed graduated from Loyola as a doctor through a whole series of scholarships and wanted desperately to be a surgeon. There were 2 residencies given upon graduation at that time. Number 1 in the class was surgery. The second one was OBGYN. Ed became a baby doctor. He graduated 2nd in the class. Actually, he became a really fine surgeon afterwards. He delivered all 7 of our children and most of the rest of the members of the family. He was really a remarkable person. He wasn't just a good doctor. He handled the acquisition of properties for material service, sand and gravel plants, stone quarries. He ran about 4 farms northwest of Chicago. He ran a milking machine manufacturing company, and I think probably a few other things we didn't know about. The best way that I could describe him is I think he has the world's record for being able to tell any woman, this is now before the time of ultrasound or anything else, whether she would have a boy or a girl. A lady would ask him, doctor, what's the sex of the child? And he would say, boy. He would say, but let's write it down and put a note in the drawer. He would write it down, he put a note in his drawer. If she had a boy, she would come in and say, thank you for telling me. I don't know how you did that, but thank you. If she had a girl, she'd come in and say, doctor, you told me I was going to have a boy. He says, wait a minute, let's look at what we wrote down. Go to his door, girl. So it was a 100%. And Ed is the one that really was responsible for, and I know Sarah spoke to you a few years ago and told you about this, but he was the one that was responsible for the Ida Crown Academy and the Erie Crown Day School. The family's affiliation ranged from Orthodox to conservative to Reform, and Ed felt very, very strongly that Jewish education was absolutely essential for the perpetuation of Judaism. I know everyone here really agrees with that. He also felt that an Orthodox education was a core that had to be supported in order for the other branches to flourish also. And that is the reason that he felt that things like the Erie Crown Hebrew Day School and the Ida Crown Academy were absolutely essential. He just felt that a vibrant Orthodox base was necessary. So, very frankly, we're really thrilled that all of you are here tonight because together you've combined to make the Ida Crown Jewish Academy really an outstanding high school. I think, as you know, though, and I think you agree, that you've outgrown your facility. And it is very important that this high school has, and we hope that it will, a newer, larger, and really better equipped campus that can provide a superb both Jewish and secular education to a lot more boys and girls. I want to thank you all for allowing us to be with you this evening.